I'm here with Ewan McIntosh from Learning and Teaching Scotland, who's just been on the platform at the Digital Media Literacy Summit. You were talking about some of your experience in Scotland. Can you tell us a bit about that?
In a nutshell, it was basically trying to point out the hugely exciting and positive ways that social media has been used in Scottish schools, particularly in East Lothian, where I've been working for the past year, but also elsewhere nationally, and trying to dispel the myths that social media is really all about children being insular, not communicating, being stuck in their bedrooms, and in fact it's all about collaborating, making amazing creations, and discovering new things on the web. But my main concern is how can we do this, keep kids safe without locking everything down.
Fantastic. We've been talking about media literacy. How does media literacy play in that work?
Well, media literacy is vital, and we need to be, I think, teaching or learning skills in school simply because they're not being learnt anywhere else. Unfortunately, media literacy in many schools at the moment is a bit like being taught how to swim without any water. So we talk about it, but we don't actually have the sites or the games free in school to use to be able to walk through. And if there's one thing that society needs a bit more of, maybe it's hands being held, people walking through things so that others have less fear of all these new emerging technologies.
And what does the media literate, the digital media literate young person look like to you, and how would they get to be that?
Well, a digitally literate person could be 9 years old or 90 years old. Age isn't important here. So if I look at how my mother, for example, sails around Second Life, makes friends, but is careful in the way that she does so, and gets some kind of enriching collaboration out of that, some form of digital friendship, I think that's digitally literate. When I look at a 10-year-old who is perhaps using Bebo, even though they probably shouldn't be because they're not 13 yet, for me, if they are not giving away information that allows them to be found, then that's digitally literate. But also digitally literate is knowing that you can have an audience, a real audience out there wanting to read your stuff or view your video, and that you enjoy the feedback and if you like, the friendships that are created through that.
Thank you. And there's been some talk here about the Charter for Media Literacy that was set up in 2004. What role do you see that having to play in this whole story and picture?
I think the Charter's a starting point. What I would hate for it to become is a kind of minimum level of literacy which is too low. I would hope that the minimum level of digital literacy is set quite high, so that people have something aspirational to which they can strive. Traditionally, charters of all sorts have really gone for the lowest common denominator, and with the 21st century learning, digital learning, we can go as high and as aspirational as we want.
And if people want to find out more about your work and some of the projects you've been working on?
You can go to my personal blog on edu.blogs.com, or you can head over to Learning and Teaching Scotland at ltscotland.org.uk.